All right, so here's a topic that is pretty much a question that I'm always asked, probably several times a day is, as a trader, how much money can you make investing, speculating, buying and selling future contracts? It just really all depends. And the bottom line answer to that is going to be you. How much time are you investing in yourself to really want to understand and make it in this business? Do you know how to trade already, or do you need to go learn how to trade? Meaning possibly educating yourself or finding a mentor, someone that you may have to pay for their services to teach you how to trade. And let me stop and say this right now, that if you scour the internet, YouTube, and so many other social media outlets or channels on the internet, websites, you're going to see people that are going to be advertising and marketing their services. And how do you really know, if they are legit or not? That's something that you're really going to have to, kind of figure out. You may probably find reviews online, or you may have someone that that can turn you into the right direction. Or if you have a family or friend, someone that invests in the future markets already, that are maybe scalpers or swing trade or position trade. Once you understand the concepts of how to trade, then, it kind of applies to all markets in a sense. For me, the key to really understanding, and I say this, and if you're someone that's new to watching and a beginner, stop while you're ahead, all right? And trying to buy all these fancy suites or indicators, these different packages that third parties are trying to push in front of you to get you to buy. You want to know what really works? Learning market structure. You want to know what really works? Understanding price action. Master market structure, because without being able to understand the flow of how the market is moving, the direction in which it's moving, and understanding behind the closed doors or curtains what the institutions are doing. Yes, the institutions are the ones that are the driving forces behind the movement of the markets. Okay? Without volume being in the market, and that volume, yes, it comes from some of us as retail traders or thousands of us as retail traders. But the bulk of what you see as far as volume, contracts being entered into the market, buying and selling, it's the institutions. We do not want to trade against them. We want to trade with them. All right. This is not like your normal game of chess to where you're trying to outbeat your opponent in a sense of, outsmarting or outthinking them, playing against them. In this case here, we want to play and be on the same playing field with the institutions, but we want to strategically understand the movements that they're making so that we can play in the same field as them. All right. Now the question, I'm getting back to what I'm talking about. How much money can I make, trading futures per day, right? But it's all going to boil down to you. Okay. First and foremost, again, going back to, do you already know how to trade? Okay. All right. If you don't, you're going to have to start from square one, and that may cost you some money to have to pay for someone's services. It may. Secondly, you're going to have to really figure out what tools, meaning what platforms you're going to use, what broker you're going to use, what services as a whole, what data feed provider are you actually going to use. So those are going to be some of the fees that you may have to pay into. But there are opportunities, meaning platforms out there that are free of charge that you can use. They may not come with all the bells and whistles and all the indicators that you may be used to using. But again, I do not use indicators to help me or engage into a trade. The only thing I like to see on my charts, for example, would be I'll show you the volume profile tool. I like to use the volume profile. Volume is important, because it kind of shows me, gives me a roadmap to let me know where volume stacked up at anywhere on the charts, whether it's for a particular session, several days, just within a swing. If I'm seeing structure being broken, I'm looking for the market to pull back, because I trade supply and demand. So if I see an aggressive area of buying and selling and the market is moving to the upside and we're bullish, then I'm looking to buy at areas of demand. And when the market comes back to a key zone, I like to see, is that a nice area where the volume has been created? Because the market likes to move in ebbs and flows, but it loves to move where it is moving higher. I'm going to say this right. Where there is larger areas of volume, and then it likes to push through lower volume areas to the next area of volume. It's like it's a block, not say a blockade, but it's a means of security for the market in a sense where price loves to and is attracted to areas where there's volume at. Okay, and lots of times you'll see those areas where the market is ranging, it's building volume up, it'll move away from it, and then it'll pull back. But as far as how much can you make, I mean, the sky is the limit. There's no ceiling to the amount of money you can make. Now, if you're a beginner trader rushing into this, please take your time and take a step back to understand nothing happens overnight. You have to take your sweet time, just like at anything else. Perfecting is your best means of survival in this business. Perfection, okay? And being patient. If you're not a patient person right now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be flat out and be honest with you, you're not going to make it. First and foremost, patience is what's going to allow you to sit back and methodically identify great trades, okay? No matter what strategy you have, if you're not patient enough to be able to determine which zones make more sense to trade, when I talk about high probability setups here on this channel, you guys already know, have been following me for some period of time, what it is I'm looking for. There's 3 things. I just did a video on it yesterday talking about 3 things that I like to see and I must see in order for me to take a trade. Now, are you looking to make $200 a day? Are you looking to make $500 a day? Are you looking to make $10,000 a day? That's all going to come back to full circle in reference to, what do you know about trading? Are you educated on trading? Do you know about market structure? Are you able to read the market? I'm telling you, once you're able to read the market, you're 90% of the way there, all right? And you're in a position to where you can really start making money. Because you have to understand, again, what the institutions are doing and knowing what setups to take. So, what I'm here to honestly tell you is that don't place a dollar amount on how much money it is that you can make. First and foremost, identify the most important part, and that is understanding how to trade the correct way. Just because you may have $20,000 to throw into a brokerage account, all right, doesn't mean you're going to become successful overnight. So many people have that idea that they can become rich overnight by just putting a large pot of money into a brokerage account and then taking a swing at the market to see if you can hit a home run. If you're doing that, you may get lucky once or twice. But if you're doing this for the longevity and making a career out of it, start small and build, okay? That's what I'm talking about. I always talk about this in videos about growing an account versus blowing an account. I've seen so many people that have the money right up front, blow through that money, all right? And then they have nothing else to trade with. Then they have to go back to square one, whether that may be going back to employment through a job and building capital back up to be able to fund themselves again as far as trading. All right, it's best. I like to see people and engage more so with smart traders in a sense that are limited with funds in a sense. Okay, they're working. All right, they are hard workers and they put the time in, because I know that they put the time in at whatever job they have. Okay, giving it 1,000% or 1,001%. And they're looking to set aside money to be able to get into trading, then those are going to be the individuals that are really going to make it, because they already know what it takes to do something and to save and put away. So now they're looking for an opportunity to invest that money and take it and start trading with. Well, okay, they don't know much about trading, but if they learn how to perfect what they did prior to, then they will learn how to trade correctly. Those are people that I find that are more patient and see things through as well. Have the determination, the drive to want to make it in this business. These are the things that make up the ingredients to the full-on recipe as far as a beginner level trader to becoming more of a professional and a seasoned trader. Those are people who start off that don't know about trading, that force themselves to get into the business and learn as much as they can. All right. And they make it in the business, and they are able to take that money that they work so hard to build up into and put it into a savings account in which they will transfer and put into their brokerage account. Those are people that end up making it and making a long-term longevity stride to become successful in this business of trading futures. All right. And you don't have to just trade futures. It could be options or Forex. Whatever it is your poison of choice, okay? And the reason why I say that, I'm just saying it kind of being funny, because the fact is that in this business, you have to understand if you want to get into it, there are major risks that are involved. You can make money one day and lose it the next day, but the key to it all is about risk management. If you were able to save that money or save up $5,000 or $10,000, then you already know that you take that what the risk was in saving that money and what you're going to put it into. Life is risky in terms and just in general. We play the game in life of like Monopoly in the sense of knowing and taking strategic moves so that we can minimize risk, knowing how to move away and avoid the risk, being smart with the money that we've saved up with and putting it away and knowing that, hey, I'm not going to get out here and just frivolously spend all day long. I'm going to put away for a rainy day to invest in other things that are going to keep the wheel spinning, sorry guys, and allow me to continue to make money. So it's up to you. What is your goal as far as what are you wanting to actually make out of this business? Is it $200 a day? Is it $500 a day? Is it $1,000 a day? You know, if you can get into the business and make $100 a day, you can do that consistently, because that's the key to it, is being able to do it with repetition every single day. All right. Those that have been following the channel long enough know that I have a firm belief in you should be green every day. All right. Some people that may be more position or swing style traders, whatever it is, they they probably may not live by that same rule and say, well, how's that possible? You know, you're going to have losing days. I believe you're going to have maybe losing trades. And I talk about here on the channel about minimizing those losing trades, being able to get out and managing the risk so you can get back into another trade. So if you're looking to take 2 to 3 trades a day, let's say the first trade didn't work out. All right. And then the next 2 possibly do. You have to be able to know when to cut your losses right up front to minimize them before they even hit your stop. Okay. So if your stop is sitting somewhere back 20 pips, or say 20 pips, say 20 ticks. Okay. All right. Somebody will say something. But anyways, 20 ticks, from where the point of entry where you got into the market, and you're able to cut your losses to get out and preserve yourself 10 ticks of capital, of a loss. 20 ticks, you get out at 10 ticks, you see the market come back your direction, you preserved yourself 10 ticks of, meaning that you didn't take an additional 10 ticks of loss. Okay, so you live to save money to then get into another good setup. It's all about high probability stakes here when we're trading. That's what it's all about, is looking for the best entry point. So I'm just going to show you quickly, if those that are still that's still kind of here following with me, that what it is I'm looking for when I'm trading supply and demand. All right, what has taken my trading to the next level? And if you've been following the channel for a period of time already and know, especially that people who are diehard loyal members of this community and this channel, you know that market structure was the thing that I struggled with when I first started. But that was the turning point for me in my trading. It took me 2 years to get to where I was, successfully, consistently to become profitable. But it was all tied to understanding the flow of the market structure, and understanding that major piece there. Being able to see, is the market reversing itself where it's taking out, an area of structure, if we're moving higher and then breaking lower, all right, and it takes out an area of structure, and say, for example, it's a minor area of structure, that could be a reversal sign to where the market is taking out a minor area of structure. Now it's taking that out and made a lower high, okay, and broke down and broke through an area of structure. Now it's got a new low. Then I know the market more than likely is trying to reverse, okay? You have to be able to understand structure, price action, understand the movements of price to be able to identify key zones to take trades from. So we're looking here on the charts right quick. I'm just going to show you this. If it is your goal to make $200 a day, or your goal to make $500 a day, or $1,000 or $10,000 a day, do things with repetition consistently every single day and allow your account to build up. It's not about, here's my thing. At the beginning of this year, I told myself that I was going to minimize the number of trades I was taking. So instead of taking 5 trades a day, look for better high probability setups, and then look for maybe just, if I can get into one and done, I'm done. Or maybe no more than 3 trades a day. All right, preferably 2. That's the thing about it, is the more you engage into being in the market, you're going to at some point take a loss. So many people, they stay in the markets all day long from, from pre-market session on up to the market's getting ready to close 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. They just sitting from the charts. Give yourself a breather, step away from the charts so that you can refresh yourself. Maybe take one trade in the morning, one trade in the afternoon. I like to trade, I talk about it in prior videos between 7:30 and maybe 10:30. All right, in the morning, really no more than 2 hours, maybe a pre-session trade, and then when the market opens up, the U.S. market opens up, then maybe you look for one trade set up during that. I'm not gonna say 9:30 because I don't like to trade right at the 9:30 opening. Typically, maybe around 9:55 on up to maybe 10:30, maybe 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock is really the time where I like to cut things out. Okay, cut it off at. But the sky's there's no limit there as far as how much money you can actually trade. It's just really up to you as a person. If you have a goal in mind of how much you would like to make, you may not make that every single day because the market may not provide for you every single day. It may range, and then you say, hey, those are the times where you need to take a step back and say, I'm not going to trade today because I don't see any good solid setups. Let me say this to you right quick as well before I jump over to the chart to show you what I look at. Make sure and be smart, okay, not to force trades. Forcing trades is where people start to make major mistakes. Do not feel as if I got to make $500 a day or $1,000 a day regardless. Or, I don't know if it's because of people's emotions or their mental state. They force themselves to get into a trade. Trust me, I've been there. Forcing yourself to always feel like you need to take a trade is where you're going to make mistakes at. And that's where you're going to blow an account and you're going to start losing major money. Because that's what a lot of people who are still inexperienced traders like to hold on to trades. All right, and then they find themselves in the drawdown. And then what do you got to do? You got to get a shovel to try to figure out how you're going to dig yourself out or close that position and take a major loss. And then by then, you're probably blowing your account. So the market's ranging and you find yourself feeling like you're going to forcefully take a trade. Take a step back. Go find something else to do. Take smart trades, okay? The high probability setups are going to be the ones that are going to work out, especially if you got multiple means of confluence. Trust me when I say that. Do not force yourself. Once you start forcing trades, then you're going to find yourself in a position to where you're going to have to start, you're going to find yourself in a position to where you're going to start revenge trading, taking trades just to make up all those eroded losses that you just made, okay? So take a look here. I just want to show you this right quick. What we need to identify as traders that trade futures, okay, and we're looking to make money on a daily basis is determine the structure of the market. Are we making moves placed to the upside breaking structure or are we moving lower? When I see beautiful setups like this where the market has pushed higher, especially when it's taking out decent areas of structure, so it's breaking structure to the upside, all right, this was on June the 3rd, and then the market flips and starts to move lower to where it's starting to break structure lower, then this is where I'm going to identify, okay, is the market trying to reverse and trying to then look for, instead of long positions, short positions. So the market starts to break right here, okay, and this is these structural breaks to the downside are going to be key indications that the market wants to try to move lower, especially when you see the market making a lower high, it didn't come back up and run this high, and then it breaks lower, and then now you got another lower high situation. A low and another lower high situation, and it's starting to take out areas of structure over here, which are minor areas of structure back to the downside, or just say areas of structure to the downside. Then you know that at this point I should be looking for opportunities to go short at key areas of supply. This was a supply area right here, okay? I talked about this yesterday. The ingredients of things I like to see. The market breaking structure moving lower in this case here where it's taking out structure to the left, and it's breaking structure lower. So we're making lows, lower highs, followed up with a lower low, another lower high. As long as it's continuously making lower highs and we're making new lows, then the market is probably more likely going to still push lower. Only when it turns around and you start seeing it where it's taking it out, say highs to the left-hand side, okay, a previous high or a lower high that it made, it runs a high, comes back, makes a higher low, and then it makes a new higher high, okay? All right, then it makes a new high. Then you'll know the market is starting to shift, just as it did right here. It was running higher, now it's making lower highs or making lower lows. So that's where you know that the market is shifting to the downside. Again, this lower high situation here that didn't take out this high here, When it pulled back right here, I'd be engaging and looking for an opportunity to go long here. Now, I'm not going long off the higher base chart. I'll say that. I just marked my zones up there. Then it runs lower, makes a lower high here. You see that there, right? Right here, makes a lower high here. Runs lower, okay? But then when it comes down here, it makes this low here. It starts to do what? It starts to turn back around. So like right here was a supply zone, aggressive selling to the downside. Now we do start to take out and break through some area structure as we move higher here. What you need to be mindful is that even though you mark zones up, okay, on this move to the downside right here, you have to understand this was a leg or impulse move to the downside. There were gaps right here. There were gaps right here. The market has to fill in gaps. So you have to think, should I look for opportunities at, in this case here, as the market's turning back around, a supply area here, okay, which, but if you look at it, it's really not even the halfway mark of this impulse leg to the downside. So the market gets back here. You can take a trade here if you look for rejection on your lower base chart, but you got to think what's also ahead, because they may want to test this area up here and fill the rest of these imbalances, these gaps back to the upside. And that's what they do. They reject here some, the market pushes down. Basically what they're doing is enticing traders to get into the trade, and then they run their stops. People sold right here, and they push the market higher. When I say they, I mean the institutions, just to come up here and test this area right here. They have to fill areas in. There's also supply back up in this area here. So if you got into this trade in this area here, the market ran lower. So this is a better opportunity to get into the trade at the upper portion more so of this impulse leg to the downside, okay? So you have to be able to see things like that. So again, I talk about structure of the market, being able to identify more so high probability setups versus low probability setups. And the higher probabilities are the ones where I see gaps resting at a zone. But you have to master and understand structure of the market if you wanted to make it in this business and truly succeed to make money, okay? And there's no limit to the amount of money that you can make. If you want to do this part-time or full-time, it all boils down to how much time do you have to invest in learning how to trade the correct way, and how much capital are you going to start off with, I always talk about and state that if I could do this or had a chance to do this all over again, or if I had to, if I was someone that was new to trading, I would always start with the micros just to prove to myself that I could actually sustain and be consistent in trading. Yes, the micros don't pay out as much, but I mean, we're speaking in relative terms, because you could actually trade X amount of contracts in the micros and it paying out to be just as much as trading 1 or 2, 3 contracts in the E-minis, okay? The bigger versions of, the E-minis. So like the NASDAQ or the NQ, not talking about like the MNQ or the MES. I'm talking about trading like the full on, NASDAQ or the E-mini S&P 500 futures. So what I'm trying to say is you can make good money still trading micros, and that still is going to allow you to prove to yourself, can I do this? But while at the same time, not probably taking on as much loss in a sense, okay? That's the thing about the micros, is that you're not having to risk as much money up front. I mean, again, it all boils down to how many contracts you traded. But even trading the micros, I recommend that for any person who's new to trading, who's a beginner, start there. Prove to yourself that you can make it, that you know how to trade. Once you do learn how to trade, start with the micros, and then it's a step-by-step approach, okay? Learn how to trade, then trade the micros, prove to yourself. And then if you want to step up to the big leagues, trading the full-on E-minis, then that's fine, and maybe you have the capital to do so, but don't blow your capital, okay, guys? Learn how to do this thing the right way. Take the steps and the approaches to do it the right way, so that that money that you do have, that nice pot of money that you want to put into a brokerage account, then you could get in, okay, and then start trading, a few contracts and start to make some serious money, all right? So just take the steps. But, not everybody's probably going to listen to me. You're going to have some hard-headed people out there that are going to, well, I'm not listening to this, and people always got something to say. But, hey, I've been doing this for a period of time, so I know, that, what it takes to succeed, and, the smart way of going about learning how to trade. Again, 2 years in, I didn't know. I was making mistakes, but it wasn't until 2 years in that things started to turn full circle for me, and that's where I got rid of all those crazy indicators on my charts that was just causing me a distraction. I was able to have more of a simplistic approach using a naked chart, understanding and reading the market with my eyes and what was going on in the markets by looking at the candle movement, looking at price action. That's how I figured it out. Okay. All right. So I spent time doing my own research online, trying to understand and learn market structure. And then when I did that, things started to really click. And then when I started to devise a strategy that was going to work surrounding supply and demand, things really started working for me. Okay. So take slow baby steps to get to where you want to be at. And then once you have consistently start to see that I'm making money every single day, this is working for me, regardless if you use a strategy that I present here on the channel, that I trade personally myself, as well as other people who are part of our Discord and part of this community trade, and are successful at doing so. Or you maybe have something else that works for you. Someone else that you know has a great strategy. Use that, okay? Or devise your own. All right. So whatever works for you, I always talk about sticking with it as long as you're consistent in doing so. But again, if you're new and someone just always scratching their head, how much money can I really make in this business of trading? The sky is the limit. 200, 500, 1,000, 5,000, just depends. But you also got to understand that same amount of money that you may have a goal into it, looking to achieve of trading and making every single day, you're not going to make that every day. And that's just realistic, because the fact is the market just may not have it may not have to give to you every single day. It does some funny stuff some days. All right. This week here is NFP week. So that's non-farm payrolls. And so weeks like this, I tread the market very lightly. I only trade setups that really make sense to me, and I'm putting in place very cautious risk management measurements, so that I know I've been doing this for long enough, and I know what this week right here, the kind of movements or the kind of what am I trying to say? What the market can do, the damage it can do. Okay, if you really don't know what you're doing the correct way. So NFP weeks are weeks that I tread very lightly, and you just make up the difference of what you didn't make in the next week. Okay, or whatever the case may be. But anyways, I just wanted to share some information with you guys, a little bit on the charts here, provide you some information for all those that are always asking the question how much they can make. Trying to buy and sell future contracts or trading these markets. It's again, the sky's the limit. It's all on what you invest into it. It's all on what you know. It's all on how much time do you have. But again, make a trading plan. I want to say that for yourself. Put a nice plan in place. Don't be one to sit in front of the charts all day long, exhausting yourself because you didn't get into a trade and you're sitting there just looking, playing, fiddling your thumbs, trying to figure out, man, is the market going to provide me an opportunity to set up today? It may not. Chop it up. Look for tomorrow. Okay? Go find something else to do. Exercise. Spend time with your family, whatever it may be. Go to the golf range and hit a few holes. I don't know, whatever. Go kick a ball around, play some basketball. Whatever it is that you love to do outside of these markets, find it, okay? That's all I want to do and share with you guys today. I appreciate you tuning in on a daily basis for all those that do. If you're not a current subscriber, please take the time to go ahead and click on that sub button. Become a member that's part of the community. Also, make sure to turn on your post notifications. If you're interested in joining the Discord community, that's free. Find the link down in the description portion of the video. For all those that also ask me how they can become an elite member to the channel, which is part of the YouTube tier program, basically you support my efforts as a content creator, where you get the trade breakdowns, where I break down, in detail the setups that I do take in trades and why I took them, talking about profit targets and talking about stop losses, things of those natures. So you get an understanding of the strategy and how I trade it, and can perfect it yourself, as well as you get the video playlist series of link by link videos that I've hand selected off the channel that cover the strategy in great detail. It's only $6.99 a month. That's all it is. If you're interested in joining, find that link down below in the description portion of the video. You'll see it right below the Discord link. Click on it. 2 tiers will pop up. Make sure to choose the second one for $6.99. That's it. Okay. If you found interest or if you found value in today's video, I really appreciate it if you hit that like button. Take care. I'll see everyone in the next one. And that's all I have for you today.